Never mind.
It makes sense. It's the altitude. What's going on, guys? Good morning. Welcome back to Everyday Struggle.
Wait, you gotta watch like a CSI, like what them CSI episodes, bro. I don't know what's up with you, bro.
What are you talking about?
You watch all the movies, but you'll be watching. Never mind.
Ack just came to work 3 hours late from LA, so he's talking about his flight experience here.
Right.
I'm
just
trying to get my Nadeska on. 8 jobs, you know, just running from place to place, no sleep. I don't get to go home, no shower. Just keep
that
going.
was a good summary of my life, but I do shower. He tried
daily. He tried to throw a little shot in there.
No, the planes you get on, like they got like full on showers. Me, I just gotta thug it out. Go ahead, nigga.
Akademiks, the greatest storyteller of all time.
Right.
So, guys, it is our last week of the year. We're going to air the Everyday Struggle Awards on Thursday, and then we're gone until January. So, you know, we're starting with some really bad news today. Unfortunately, I'm sure most of you have heard at this point, Juice WRLD died on Sunday morning, December 8th. He was only 21 years old. So, the New York Times reported that he suffered from a medical emergency at Chicago's Midway Airport after getting off a flight from LA. He was still conscious when the paramedics arrived, but he did pass away shortly after arriving at the hospital after 3 a.m. Some reports are saying that he suffered from a seizure or it could have been cardiac arrest, but autopsy results and official cause of death are still pending. Now, according to TMZ, cops say people on the plane told him that he did take pills earlier, and cops reportedly found codeine and weed on the plane as well. So after the news, we did see 2 videos that he posted on his story. So Juice WRLD born Gerard Anthony Higgins. We see him joking around with his friends on the plane, and in more footage, we actually see when they touched down and it still looked like everything was okay. So later, a rep from Interscope told Complex in a statement, quote, "Juice made a profound impact on the world in such a short period of time. He was a gentle soul whose creativity knew no bounds, an exceptional human being, and an artist who loved and cared for his fans above everything else." To lose someone so kind and so close to our hearts is devastating. So, of course, a lot of his peers, including Chance the Rapper, people like Lil Durk, Drake, and Cordae, definitely paid tribute on social media. Pretty devastating news to end the year. Lost a young legend.
Yeah.
Ak, you were actually supposed to connect with him finally this weekend, right?
Yeah, you know, he reached out to me a few months ago, like, and you know, kind of like really just out of the goodness of his heart, and also you kind of see his personality based on how he moved in a lot of different ways, and you know, he was super lit. Usually a lot of times younger rappers trying to reach out for like either help and promote. He's like, yo, I just want to build with you. And we had a couple conversations, and I'm telling you, he's just always a fun-loving dude. And I was like, yo, December, you know, he was putting together an album, and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna come out to LA, we're gonna do some stuff, we're gonna do some content. But also, like, I really appreciate the fact, you know, I appreciate when people reach out to me just to say what's up rather than to ask for something. So, you know, like earlier this week, like he was hitting me and I was like, yo, I'm gonna be in LA anyway. So we'll connect then. Didn't get to return his call, and then, you know, the news just happened so suddenly. I mean, like, I think, you know, another rapper, which I won't say his name, but he hit me and he says, yo, I'm kind of feeling like I'm getting a little bit too used to this. Like, you know, we're losing a lot of our young entertainers, and it feels like, you know, he even has in his song Legends, where he says, yo, they're talking about the 27 Club. We're not even making past 21. You know, he died 6 days after his 21st birthday. And I don't know, it just floored me when I heard it. I thought it was a lie.
Yeah, it's kind of, I mean, I didn't imagine, you know what I mean, like this young man like losing his life so early. Like I got a chance to interview him last year at Made in America. When I was doing like correspondence there, and he was just mad cool, like, you know what I mean, he was mad cool. He was actually like probably the biggest artist I got a chance to like interview there, and he was really cool about it, you know what I mean. We talked about him, his freestyle and shit, because I was like, yo, people in New York fucking with you because you can rap so well. He's like, for real? Like he was surprised that people from New York was like fucking with him for rapping. And he was just saying, like, he's like, yo, I grew up on that shit. Like, he was telling me he grew up on Wayne and, you know what I mean, Drake, and how they rap made him want to rap like that. He always was into freestyling. But, like, seeing stuff like this happen so sudden is sad, but it's like, yo, it's a lot of different issues that needs to be addressed regarding, you know, these type of situations. Because it's not an act of violence, you know what I mean? Like, he's a 21-year-old man, you know what I mean? Like, he died from, you know, what it looks like, you know, using drugs. And I think, like, it is kind of, is bothersome a word?
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Troublesome.
Troublesome.
There you go.
All right, troublesome. It's kind of, it's pretty troublesome when, like, you know, like I love music that talks about all types of shit, specifically negativity. And then we look at music that talks about, you know, drug usage, etc. And it's celebrated. And I'm not gonna act like I'm not a person who doesn't celebrate that type of music as well. But then you get these type of results and it's like, you know, what are we really celebrating?
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely happening too often. Of course, we lost Mac Miller because of an overdose. We lost Peep this way. So fans are definitely struggling to cope with this, understandably. So we had one question. Hey, Everyday Struggle, there hasn't been an official report about Juice WRLD's cause of death, but most can suspect it was drugs that led to his demise. What do you think we can do as a community to stop this? It's not guns killing us, it's drugs or tragic circumstances. I'm so hurt by this.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, like, you know, and this, I think I mentioned it on like one of the earlier episodes this year while talking about Juice. You know, while we're talking about how talented he is, and you know how well he could sing, how well he could put melodies together, also how well he could rap. You know, like if you hear some of the content, and if I remember when we did review his album, my whole thing was I love when his stuff is more content based, more than just rapping to just show off skill. Because you know, I felt he was delivering a message, whether it was heartbreak, or a lot of times, which, you know, this is what in hip hop we really coast over. A lot of time his music was a cry out for help. You know, you really look at a lot of the artists that we enjoy, whether it's from Future or whatever. Like a lot of times, like even Uzi. Like if EXO Tour Life ain't a cry out for help, what is? You know, but that shit sound good in the club. We don't really care. Like you kind of like table that in your mind, like nah, that's whatever. So you don't really address it until these things happen, and they happen so suddenly. And of course, when they happen to one rapper, we kind of all mourn collectively for like a week or two, right? And then we see some other music being made, and we're like, all right, we're back to normal. So this is like a thing that, you know, I thought we would have all learned from Lil Peep's death. I think Lil Peep's death kicked off a lot of, you know, it kicked it off in a major way where we should have, and I guess it's not even fans because it's an artist. They're living a lifestyle they're all rich, like. No one's the boss of them. No one could tell them what to do. They're all young, so they can do whatever the fuck they want to do. But, you know, as fans, we do kind of help make it okay.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, I do feel like, you know, while I'm not trying to say fans or anyone who listens or consumes that type of music should feel like they're guilty as well, because everybody doesn't make their own choices. I do think it's a cyclical effect, you know, in terms of how everybody contributes to that type of stuff in terms of addiction. Like music about addiction go up, right? Like shoot, you got to realize if somebody's singing songs about them being depressed or whatever, it's probably a good assumption that they're self-medicating over it. Like self-medication in hip hop it goes hand in hand, and of course with self-medication a lot of times comes abuse, and also then comes reliance. Because some of these artists, they can't make a song. Like after a while, they can't make a song without whatever they on.
Yeah.
You get me?
Well, I think I don't, honestly speaking, and it sounds sad, but I don't think there's nothing that could be done about this as a hip hop community. Only because I feel like hip hop community only stands with each other against each other. We don't stand together to tackle any real issues. You know what I mean? Like whether it be this, whether it be domestic violence, whether it be all types of shit. We never really stand with each other. We stand with each other against each other because like Ak said, you know, this is gonna be, you know, it's unfortunate. Like this is a young artist. I had a chance to meet him, his team, they really good guys, but in another 2 weeks, there's gonna be another artist that makes either the same type of content and it'll be the same thing and the cry for help, I understand that, but some people you don't know what they're actually crying for. You know, because dudes is rich and they sitting at the top, you don't really know what they're going through. I think the biggest lesson for this amongst young artists or young people in general, just take care of your health. You know, your health is the most important thing. Fuck music, fuck money, like none of the benefits of life are you can have without having your health intact.
I think we're conditioned to make money over everything.
Yeah,
not even just rappers, all of us.
Yeah, that shit is
what I
whack.
mean?
I'm stopping that. Like I ain't gonna lie, yo. Like, cause I notice a lot of times, like you joked about it. Like, you know, I was having we all got multiple things that we do, but sometimes I like the other day after we did the show, like I got home and I just clocked out. I was so tired, and that's a multitude of me not sleeping, not getting the right rest, eating some bullshit from time to time, not getting on the treadmill as much as I need to. You know what I mean? I think that we just got to take our health a little bit more serious because, and you know. leave these drugs alone. Seriously, I know that people are dealing with depression, this, that, and the third, but try talking to somebody, seek help, therapy-wise, etc. But this is an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
As you know, and again, you know, we're really reacting off this fan question. I'm gonna still reserve my judgment until I see like an official report, and I'm gonna wait for the medical examiner of Chicago and the toxicology report to be out there, despite what they find. But still, even, you know, thinking about that possibility that, you know, it could have been drugs. Like it brings me back to when, you know, he did a joint project with Future called World on Drugs. You know, like that article that DJ Booth, I think everyone's seen it at this point, it's been circulating, where Future apologized to him because he told Future, he said, "You the one who introduced me to drugs, like your music did." And for Future, it had a profound effect on him because he's rapping and saying this shit, and of course he's talking about his life, but he's not knowing that them little sixth graders you talking to in your music, yeah, they gonna try the shit. They're probably gonna be hooked on it. And while, you know, he had, and that's what I was saying, while he had his moment, and you know, I have to be careful how I word this because this ain't a thing to attack Future or anyone else. But still, you know, it's about the effect of music and the shit you put in the music. You're not just rapping and it's just going into an empty room. It's like people are listening to this shit. People are like, yo, this is how my favorite rapper lives. And to even hear that and hear how influential one of his favorite artists' music may have influenced him to get into drugs, period. And that led to his demise. You have to realize that the content of what we're saying, it's powerful.
Right.
It's powerful. It's more than a hit record. It's more than just a platinum record. This type of shit is going far. This type of shit is creating addicts. This type of shit is creating abusers.
I mean, and Future admitted that he had a hard time coming clean with fans, right? That he was actually trying to get clean because he didn't know how they would receive it. So it is cyclical, like you said, but hopefully, instead of just being upset now and forgetting in a few weeks, more artists will feel empowered to talk about this openly. Admit that you're struggling and you're trying to get help and it's not the cool thing to do, you know what I mean? It might take a while to get there, but you gotta start somewhere.
The same way how we, you know, the same way how people give artists who talk about the streets and that's glorified, you know what I mean? Like we always talk about how the streets is glorified as a marketing tool and all that. I feel like to a certain extent, and not saying specifically Juice WRLD, because, you know, condolences, and this is the first time his family's still mourning, his friends. But I feel like depression with some artists is a marketing tool now. You know what I mean? I feel like the drugs and along with the depression is a marketing tool now because, you know, the same way how 50 Cent popped off for getting shot and everybody thought he was a superhuman and all this other shit. Now a kid is, you know, he's sad, and then now they're getting the next biggest deal. You know what I mean? And then I just see more kids. And I don't know what people are going through personally, but I don't believe that everybody's going through the same exact thing. And I think a lot of younger kids is just finding reasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Look, I mean, if you checked out that video footage where it looks like he's having a good time after, I'm sure it was like a crazy shock for the people he was with even at the time. So we just want to send our love and condolences to all his friends and family. Cannot imagine what you guys are going through right now. If you guys just want to go, you know, more with the music, he did drop 2 albums. So Death Race for Love came out this March, and last year he dropped his debut album, Goodbye and Good Riddance.
And I do also want to add, because, you know, I had a conversation with a lot of artists yesterday. And I'm not going to lie, like, I wouldn't feel as a man comfortable, like some of those artists that also do some of those drugs that we might think Juice WRLD were doing. I said it to them. I'm like, you know, this could be you, right? And I'm not gonna lie, I got a lot of ignorant answers. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be very honest with you. It disheartened me. Yeah. Like a lot of those artists, they were like, I know how to use the drugs.
Exactly.
Oh, like this can't happen to me.
And you know what a lot of them told me? Straight up. It's I've been using drugs all my life. Like I know how to handle it. I don't do too much, you know, and even some of these drugs, you know, you got to realize some of the, like, again, some of them are pills, you know where them shits came from. They're cut with, like, I think after that fentanyl thing that's what I'm saying with Lil Peep, you'd think people would be like, yo, chill. But for the most part, I seen people really defensive, like, nah, we got this under control. And that disheartened me because I would think that's a wake-up call, but it didn't seem, even on the very day, it wasn't. For some of people, at least I talk to, some people you're gonna see on social media, yo, I'm quitting this, quitting that. We'll see what happens. Wow. But lastly, I do want to say, like, hip hop, I think we need grief counselors. Like yesterday, man, just seeing the amount of like just seeing fans. You gotta realize that most of the fans of these people, they're like 16. They don't even know how to deal with death. And also like, denial is the first stage. You know how many videos I got sent by like his fans saying, no, he ain't dead. Same thing with X when he died. They don't really believe that like life could be terminated. You get me? And coming to grip with that and also dealing with that and mourning with that. You know, I've seen other people on social media, they judging how other people mourn. You know, like for example, like you're gonna get Ski Mask who's going through, like he's lost a few of his brothers in music. Yeah, he's on social media. He may say something. You may see Trippy. He gets emotional on live, but then Bibby hasn't said anything. You feel me? Like everybody deals with death like really differently. Yeah. And you know, some of the I saw really some insensitive comments to like even how people dealt with mourning or even dealt with the news. So
yeah, I think people gotta stop looking for people to like say shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, yo. I just have I lived in the world where there was no internet. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I just don't understand why everybody wants validation from somebody else in order for them to feel secure about how they feel. It's like, little Bibby don't have to say nothing. Like, you know what I mean? This ain't a press conference after the game. Like, he don't have to say nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's his prerogative. Like, I'm pretty sure that's a personal situation for him. I'm saying, like, I just hate the fact that everybody on social media has this pressure put on them on what people think they should do.
And also with Juice, I'm really hoping it's not some drug stuff. You know why? He spoke about his addiction and his issues a year ago, and you know, pretty much say, yo, I'm getting clean off of this shit. I'm not doing this anymore. He even sent out a message to kids like, yo, if one thing I could tell you, I do not get addicted to this type of shit. You know, so I really hope that's not the case, because I think it's just rather sad.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, so the autopsy is scheduled for today, so we'll find out soon. But regardless, I don't know, it doesn't really matter, you know, right now. His friends and family are going through a hard time. So I hope people can find it in their hearts to be respectful as possible.
All right.
And like Ak mentioned, Juice WRLD did pay tribute to Lil Peep and XXXTentacion, and in very eerie timing, X's fourth and final album, Bad Vibes Forever, actually dropped this past Friday. We're gonna let it breathe and talk about that a little bit later this week. But during an interview on Big Boy TV, Game told Big Boy that he felt like X at this point could have been the next big superstar. Take a look.
And that dude was like so talented.
Yeah, man.
He was like, I feel like by now he would have been like, you know,
yeah. And
Travis
I felt
Scott
like
level.
I felt like he was turning his corner.
Right.
Definitely. You know what I'm saying? Turning his corner, man, or artistically in his bag.
I know
life too.
Have you heard him spit? Like he was nice, like rapping, but then he could go into a singing bag and just like kill you there too, man. And so I felt that it was important to incorporate that for the reason.
So it sounds like these are the conversations we're probably going to be having about Juice WRLD in the near future, where he could have been, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think Game is right. X was really talented. Like I always say it, like I wasn't always listening to his music or nothing like that. But like me and Act talked one time, and I had asked Act about, I forgot what song was it. Is the song Love You or something like that? Is Lil Peep on that song too? Not Peep, Pump.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the song was playing on the radio like every day. I did not know that was X. And I was like, yo, that's X. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, I didn't know that the dude like had so many different ways. And then I listened to the is it the Question Mark album after that, and that's when I really like kind of got into his music. Nah, he definitely would have been at that level. Plus he had a crazy fan base. Like his fan base was insane.
Yeah, nah, absolutely. Like, you know, shit, I was having a conversation at his name, Kim, as we were kind of recapping some of the people who, you know, in terms of new rappers that passed before their time, and I was talking to another artist, and they said the same thing that Game said. I think we are all, and it's so unfortunate that we're sitting here just kind of in hindsight playing it out. Yo, he would have been big as Travis Scott. This would have happened. Unfortunately, he never lived long enough that we could actually see it come to fruition. But yeah, X was supremely talented. Like, you know, just from knowing him, like I remember he told me just straight up. He said, I ain't gonna lie to you. I feel how strong my fan base is, how hard they go for me, and also given some of the stuff. You gotta remember, before he died, he's think about a new artist saying fuck Drake. And just the context and the magnitude of what that means.
Yeah.
You get me? Like, if anything, if Drake even is on your radar, you keep it low, you hope to get a feature, this and third. He was going against everybody that was already well established that could
Yeah,
possibly
he
even
got
kill his
into it
career.
He got into it with the Migos.
Mi-
I ain't gonna front, for him to be the type of rapper he was beefing a lot with a lot of people.
And for him, like, you know, like I'm telling you, that's the first time I talked to Drake. Because you know why? On some real shit. Because his fan base was so rabid, like they were accusing Drake of all type of shit. Drake was like, let me just clear the air. I ain't do whatever they claiming I'm doing. I ain't stealing nigga songs, blah, blah. But still, like, that was a testament to, like, his fan base. Also, when he came out, he did numbers. He did 200 and something. Like, this is a kid who, he started some SoundCloud shit. Like, initially, his music was super distorted, did not want to be mainstream. Of course, he's fighting all those charges, which is, I've always, like, I have a lot of respect, not for what niggas is charged with, but for someone who's a musician, that you got mad legal troubles and other drama going on in your life, and you can still get to the studio and still go make some hits. Like, that takes, like, when you see how a lifespan of an artist is, or just what an artist does on a daily basis, when you got that much distractions, by the time you get to the studio, like, how the fuck do you really, like, make a hit? And to see, like, the numbers he did before he died, this is before he died, and also to see him make a song like Sad, one of the biggest songs of the decade, you have to believe that this would have happened. And to be honest, I believe it would have happened in the next year or two if he had not passed away. So I definitely agree.
I know it's not sexy, but it would be nice if we could start celebrating getting old, right?
Shit.
No one cares about living in rap, it feels like, right?
Old nigga. I love
Yeah, of course we are. As soon as you're over 25, you're old. Like, I don't know why we celebrate death so much in this culture.
But you know what though? It's not even, I think, you know, as we talk about even Juice WRLD and like a lot of these newer rappers, like, I think it really comes from the streets though. Like, most of these, like, young black, just kids, right? They're growing up. Most of them, the game even said it. He didn't think he was going to live past like 25 or something like that.
Yeah.
And like, it's hard to like envision getting old when you're coming from a place where you're seeing other people die at a reasonably young age, especially when they're within a certain type of lifestyle. So I do think it starts from there, but also it gets into music and entertainment a little bit, because you hear these kids who on these, they all think they're on this rock star shit. Right. They just don't feel like getting old is cool.
All the rock stars is old though. Like, all the rock stars is old, and then like, I just think that not enough young rappers or artists look at being an artist as a real profession. Like, they look at it as La La Land. Like they look at getting a deal or getting a hit song as like a license to do anything you want. And if you do whatever you want, that, like, nobody's immune to tragedy. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's above that. Nobody's above the law. So I just think, like, too many of them don't look at their situations and understand what they have. You know what I mean? Like, if you were in a bad, tight spot, and then you become an artist and you're making tons of money where you could provide for yourself and your family, you got to be thinking about doing that forever. You can't just be like thinking about, oh, I'm gonna just do this for a short amount of time. And I don't think it's just people calling death on themselves, but you got to think about your mindset when you think that you're gonna leave this earth. You know what I mean? You're not waking up really ambitious. You're not waking up going towards something because you think it's gonna be over. They got to change their mindsets, for real.
We got to think about literally how many posthumous albums we're about to get. Like, depending on what they do with the project Juice already has recorded, that's gonna come. That's a posthumous project. We just got X, Lil Peep. I don't know if there's anything with Mac Miller in the works, but you start thinking about it, like, shoot, we're almost gonna be talking about a lot of projects just really with in nostalgia of that artist actually being here, and just realize, like, man, like, you are right. There is a wave of generation that, yo, Diddy's like almost 50. Jay just turned 50.
Diddy is 50.
You get me? Like, like those people, they've lived, and still they haven't lived full lives. They're still like working on whatever path they're on.
Warren Buffett get up every day and hustle. Like, Warren Buffett get up every day as old as he is and get shit done. I just be looking at it like, yo, man, like, you just gotta, if this is something that you want to do, and it's not just down to music. I think you just want to live as long as you want, as long as you can live. Like the whole thing in hip hop culture, being an old nigga is so like what you don't want to do. I want to be an old nigga. I want to be the oldest I could fucking be. Nothing's gonna be doper than me than not being able to walk too fast and my kids, my grandkids is running around and shit.
But you're right. It's like a deeper cultural issue. You know what I mean? It's like generations of like oppression. And things that we have to work through.
I did want to ask this question, like, we were on the first topic, because I do think this is the conversation that kind of needs to be had. It's like, how do you change that culture of like so many of these rappers either be addicted to drugs or even that mentality, because most of that culture really lives in studios, in a lot of closed places. You just see it in Instagram pictures. You hear it in the music.
Yeah.
But that culture, like if you like, you know, you walk in a mad people's studio, they offer you coke, lean, yo, you sip, yo, you smoke, you this, like you realize that's the lifestyle that they already got going on. So if you just go once to visit, you can be like, nah, I'm good. But if you're around it now y'all locked in making music for a month, you may get into some shit. So I look at that, that's a culture.
Yeah, well, I think that's only for certain type of artists. Like, I mean, that's only for certain type of artists. Like, I never, my era of doing drugs. That's why, like, when you asked me, like, you know, did you do? I got offended by it only because, like, that never was cool. Like, it never was cool to use drugs when I was growing up. You know what I'm saying? And even selling drugs, as much as drugs is talked about in music, and I love music about selling, that's not cool either, and it never was cool. It's just that the music came from a place of desperation. People talking about not having and wanting to have and wanting to be on an equal playing field as what they're faced with every day getting up and walking out to America. For me, like, I really think about, like, who the person is. Like, I just know that if anything hurt me badly, I would stop. Anything.
But that's the thing, it's not that easy when you're coping. One of you just made the point about needing grief counselors. This also goes back to mental health issues. If you grew up in tough circumstances, you never had anyone to talk to, anyone to help, and this is your only way to cope, it's not that easy to break, like, the habit of addiction.
Real quick, I never, like, there's tons, I'm gonna go see a therapist. Like, dead serious, I'm going to see a therapist. Because there's tons of shit that I witnessed in my life that I never unpacked, that I never spoke to anybody about, that I had to go to sleep with and try to wake up the next day and act like it was easy. And that's not. I just, you know, me personally, like, drugs was just not my thing. You know what I mean? Like using something to get through that wasn't my thing. Which it made it a little bit tougher on my mind, but it's like, I just be looking like, all right, because everybody always says, oh, who's in the circle? The people in the circle doing drugs too. You know what I mean? Like, that's another thing. It's like people like, yo, nah, his circle ain't.
Yeah, like people think that like it's only the artists.
Yeah, the circle be just as high.
Artists high or drunk, and then everybody else are just handlers.
The managers
mad
be high.
sober. Like everybody on the shit.
Yeah, people be just as high. And I just, my thing is that I don't think there's a way to, like, there's no way to press a button and directly change that type of culture, but there's healing. You know what I mean? Like, wounds don't heal overnight.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just like, we got to start having really uncomfortable conversations. Like, the same way how when you look at like racism in this country, racism still hasn't changed all the way, but a lot of ways that things move forward was people started having very uncomfortable conversations on news, in media, in front of people, no matter how motherfuckers felt about it. You know what I mean? That changed things for in certain aspects. Like, you ever watch an old Muhammad Ali interview and how he would talk? Like, a lot of shit that he said made change. I think that we just got to start having conversations that people aren't comfortable with. You know, sparing feelings, like, for real.
We do. And business is involved, so it's always going to be tougher, right?
Yeah, you know. But shit, we can't keep doing business if ain't none of us here.
That's true.
For real, like.
Man. All right. On a lighter note, I suppose, how about this? So DaBaby was scheduled to perform at Power 98's Winter Block Party in Charlotte last week, but he was unable to fly home because of aircraft maintenance issues. But work ethic, man. Instead of canceling, he decided to perform for the crowd via FaceTime. I've never seen this before, but this is how bad he wanted to be there and be present. Respect it?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, yo. DaBaby is like the people's champ, man. Like, what won't he do? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, because most people be like, all right, we just gonna reschedule the journey or whatever. And I'm pretty sure that he'll still do another performance for Charlotte because that's his hometown. Yeah. But for a nigga to get on his phone and FaceTime and rap the songs, if people really was, I mean, I couldn't hear the sound. There was no sound or whatever, but like, if people was really rocking with that shit, like, that nigga's legendary for that. Especially in his hometown.
Yeah.
He a legend for that.
Yeah, this shit was a legendary movie. Let me tell you this. And you know, at first, and I like to be proven wrong, or I like when artists change that whatever I'm saying doesn't apply anymore. Mm-hmm. Remember, I was like, yo, Baby's fine, his music is thing we're talking about now. I am worried about, like, the only time I see him viral on social media is some violent shit. That hasn't happened for a long while now. Actually, what's been happening, that's why I agree with you. He's a people's champ. He goes above and beyond to make fans have a great experience. He's bringing the experience of music back to some Broadway type shit, where like it's like, did you see him on he performed on a late night show? It was a Fallon. I can't remember if it's Fallon
Saturday Night Live
or Saturday Night Live. Yeah. That shit was like amazing.
Yeah.
You know, like he brought the music video there. Like he's showing that as a rapper, he don't have to do the same corny walk, just grab your crotch, point, this, that, and third, like show your jewelry off. I think he's not acting like he's a rookie no more. This guy acting like he's a 10-year vet. And if you saw this, he's literally on the plane. They got like some type of camera that's showing the phone on FaceTime. He could hear the music,
right?
And he's turning up with them. And he promised that he's gonna come on. This is about like he probably got a PR person, but this is just him. Yeah. I look at how every day, and if you guys don't know, like Summer Walker, she be getting it online. They be getting at her like they booked her for a hosting, and because she didn't want to give a whole performance, they were killing her online that she's bougie, this and third. The thing with DaBaby, like, he seems to always do the right thing.
Yeah.
And like for example, how Summer Walker gets talked about recently, even though she's super talented as well, is that like they can't give her a break. I just think his personality is one that's like really magnetic when it comes to like just fans and people.
Absolutely. I mean, it's talking about like just on the subject matter what we on today, he's one of the artists that I feel is going to be around for a while because he understands that. He understands that this is the thing that's saving his life. This is the thing that, so he don't got to be back in the circumstances he once was, you know what I'm saying? And he's taking this shit and running with it. So I think like people just gotta you can use him as an example if you're an up-and-coming artist. Not to be exactly like him, but look how he's taking his career.
Yo, he gained another 100,000 fans at least with that move. You know, like that went viral on social media. Like I thought that was super dope. Yo, fans don't realize how bougie artists are. Trust me, like they go there and like if a monitor's out on a stage, they might walk off the for real.
Nah,
that's some real shit. So it's like shit. And again, for things that they can't control, say it could be like bad weather, so they can't fly there. Fuck it, I ain't there. You know, get me? Like, or if it's like that situation, yo, I can't make it. Fuck it. I send out a tweet. Yeah, it might send out and go make it up, but to really give the effort to hop on FaceTime, like, come on, you know, a motherfucker really, really wants.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
So.
Fans also don't realize how bougie Akademiks is. He just likes to pretend that he's broke all the time. Look at his, got his eyes lit up there. You crazy as hell. All right, Ak,
Wayno bougie.
A little.
What?
He's outwardly bougie though. He's outwardly bougie. He's not trying to deny it.
Wait a minute.
Oh my God. I work hard.
Wayno just re-up on his beanie stocks.
I did. I work really hard. That's all. I reap the benefits of my hard work.
All right, here we go, Ak. A little pocket watching for you, your favorite. So Forbes just released their list of the highest earning musicians of 2019, and this is worldwide, which is pretty crazy. Ranked at number 2, Kanye West, $150 million for the year, no longer in debt. Jay and Beyonce tied at number 6 with 81 million, which is kind of funny. Of course, they're tied. Drake at number 8 with 75 mil, and Diddy at number 9 with 70 mil.
Who's that one?
I don't know, not a rapper. Taylor Swift.
Oh, this is just not hip hop, period. It's
yeah,
just whoever,
these are the
right?
rappers. Taylor Swift is number 1.
Taylor Swift? Mm-hmm. Damn, so imagine how much money she have if she get her fucking publishing back from Scooter Braun. Like, bro.
You know, I started realizing about that situation. She be capping a little bit. Like, she low key, Taylor is doing the Uzi.
Where?
She signed a contract.
Oh, so Uzi's capping is what you're saying.
No.
Oh, right, that's it. Look, now we have it.
You walked right into that one.
No. What I'm saying is that an artist signing a contract and then being unhappy with it. That's what life is all about. That's what, like, in music, artists don't give a fuck about contracts when it doesn't suit them. But this list, honestly, this can't all be music.
Of course not. What?
Not.
Beyonce on the list. When's the last time Beyonce dropped a song? They dropped that little...
Lion King joint.
Yeah.
Okay. Which I never heard. So,
she did her Adidas partnership too, right?
Without putting out no music, do better than 95% of the artists that drop. Like,
I'm just surprised Diddy's at 9, man. Usually Diddy at like... He's at the top. Wherever the rappers start coming in.
At 9 with 70 mil, what the fuck am I doing wrong, man? The nigga's at 9 with 70 mil, Akademiks. He's at number 9.
Yeah, but I feel like
You surprised?
I feel like his year start at 60 though. I feel like as soon as his new year start, it's like I hear 60 mil.
I need to get my shit to like 10 M's, like.
And I'm guessing most of the shit.
I ain't there yet. I'm just saying.
See, he has to remind you.
It's like I just need to double my number a little bit.
No, I got no in there.
Damn, you got to invite me to the new crib, bro. That's just crazy.
Stop it.
Now, but for like, Drake is off music. Diddy, was it Revolt?
Drake can't all be music though. Everything
What else
can be
is he
music.
on?
Man, the nigga is a brand ambassador for the fucking Toronto Raptors. I know that's a hefty check, and he has the practice facility, the OV. Yo, bro, that licensing.
No,
come on, that's some bread. That's some bread.
Yeah, but we're talking about 75 million. Like
75.
Like,
this ain't got to be a good 10 in there.
Hell no. The Raptors give him 10.
Not 10 for that, but I'm saying between that and between all the stuff you're doing with Top Boy and all that executive producing, okay, gotta be some bread in there.
I only said all that because
now he got me pocket watching.
Oh, we ready to put some fucking respect on Kanye's name?
Ooh, Silverman.
Hey, right. The Silver Surfer, the new version. But on some real shit, like, you know, you got to be proud of Kanye because, you know, I was having a conversation about him yesterday too. Like, I feel like he's selling his influence, like the shit he's selling now. And I know we criticize his music, we care about his music. This is a music show, but like what he's selling is not even music no more. And I can see y'all just ready to laugh. That give me the still face.
I know, you know what?
I give me the still face. Like Kanye could sell, he could sell watches, he could sell sweatpants, he could sell beanies, he could sell cars if he wanted to. That's why, you know, I'm telling you, I am really.
Nah, I'm laughing because it's something that, like, I know Craig would laugh about if I say it. Like, about the Silver Kanye shit, but I'm waiting till the show's over.
We're not got inside jokes.
Nah, it's inside. Me and Craig got our own little jokes about shit.
But I'm really impressed with how, like, you know, business-wise, and primarily, even though, you know, he does overcharge for a lot of shit, even though he claims it's not him and it's other people that's involved in the process, I am super impressed by him that his passion and a lot of shit that he was sounding mad crazy for in 2013, just kind of came back around, and all that Diddy was talking about, he's reversed it. He's like a billionaire.
Hey, man,
salute. Shit, he almost spent more than Jay and Beyonce.
Salute, man. Salute, man.
Got respect to him.
There we go.
What was Kim K had on the list?
That's a good question, actually. Well, I guess they're only counting musicians. She doesn't have a song out yet.
You ain't counting black people money. That's what they're doing. Counting black people.
All right, so according...
Travis Scott was at 12?
Damn. What'd you say, Rose Project? 58 mil?
God damn, Travis Scott. Travis Scott made 58 million.
Man, we ain't shit. Just coming to work every day for no reason.
You see why we got pocket watch?
Yeah, I know.
That's motivation. You see, I told him you're supposed to use that motivation.
Yo, this nigga made
like, wait, next year, make sure your salary increase from 6 mil to like 60 mil. Okay?
All right, guys, so according to Hip Hop and More, Rich the Kid has left Interscope Records. He's now signed to Republic Records, still under the UMG umbrella. But you guys think this is a good move? So the first album, The World Is Yours, came out 2018. This year, he dropped The World Is Yours 2. That was this year? Why does that seem so long ago? Didn't do as well as the first project. You guys think switching labels is going to change things for him?
Had to switch labels.
He didn't switch, man. They just moved him over.
Well, he had to.
Shuffled?
That's the same thing. Remember when Game was on the show and Game was like, he was on Interscope and then they just moved him to Geffen? I feel like it's the same. I guess he had bad blood with Interscope and then they just moved
threatening
him.
him.
That's what I'm saying. They just moved it over.
Slide you over?
Your label can't ban you from the building that they're in. You know what I mean? Y'all probably not going to work too well together if you can't show up there for a meeting. So, and honestly, like, they've been having, I guess, maybe some business differences, but definitely, like, creative differences because he want to do certain shit. They're looking at him like, no. And an artist of his caliber, he probably feels. Yeah, well, that's what he started having problems with them with. And also some business shit. And they're probably saying, nigga, again, the same with the Uzi or Taylor Swift shit. Sign a contract, shut the fuck up, right? And if shit don't go well, his music career, I felt, has been stalled, though.
It has. But he's not, you know what I mean? He still got time. He got a lot of time. He mad young.
Yeah, but after he had New Freezer and Plug Walk, that next shit should have just went.
Yeah. And
when you start having problems at that point, so it brings you back down here, and it's a harder climb to get back up on that second hill. So, you know, now he's moved over to another label. He ain't got no more excuse. Let's see.
All right, so let's close with one more story on rappers collecting bags outside of music. So Migos has teamed up with Popeyes to introduce a new Migos menu. So guys, you have 4 meals to choose from: the Tour Rider, the Quavo, the Takeoff, and of course, the Offset. So they partnered with Uber Eats for this one, available till January 2nd. You guys gonna try? What meal would you pick?
I don't know. I mean, I don't really eat Popeyes like that no more. But I'm
serious. You had that chicken sandwich.
I did. Everybody had the chicken sandwich.
So you won't show up for a Migos meal?
No, I would definitely. This is dope. I really like seeing shit like this because it shows like influence and branding. You know what I mean? I love those. You know, that's the only thing I do pocket watches, niggas brand deals. But yeah, this is really ill because it shows artists that like, when you look at the Migos career from Bando till now, like look how much they've done.
Yo, would you partner with someone for like an oxtail meal?
No, of course. That's hey, let me tell you this.
McDonald's meal.
I don't eat McDonald's like that.
Well,
I eat oxtail.
that's the narrative on social media.
Yeah,
Actually,
McDonald's,
they're
you know?
mad on culture. If they were like, yo, Akademiks at
Mad on
oxtail spot,
culture.
okay, that's kind of true. But here's the truth. Like, with the Migos, and I'm gonna credit to P from QC / Solid Foundation. That's the management company / label that they're like almost hand in hand, same people that run the Migos shit. Like, just think about how the Migos has, ever since they became pop culture, really through Bad and Bougie and the Culture album doing so well, all their partnerships are mad strategic and organic. You know why this came about, right?
Because they were Quavo bought all the Popeyes chicken sandwiches.
Yeah, it was like I'm slinging, and it was just probably a funny video. You know, they got personality now. They're not bland anymore. They used to be they used to be too tough to even like.
Trust, I've done some painful interviews with the Migos in the past.
Exactly, but now they're chill. That turned into a bag. It's always great when you do some shit organically and it turns into a big bag.
True.
You feel me? Because somebody probably got that idea and I don't know, the sales rep or the advertising people at Popeyes like, oh, the Migos, we love them. Just add it, right? Not only that, remember they were selling a bunch of, after the dabbing shit, how they ingratiated that with
they had the chips. The dab ranch chips.
Exactly. And some of the stuff like,
Rap snacks.
I remember there was a time when the Migos song was, one of their songs were banned from being played in the Philadelphia Eagles Stadium.
Was it Fight Night?
Yeah, I'm gonna knock that pussy out like Fight Night.
Right.
It was like these guys are too lewd, they're too out there. This is some really crazy shit. Now you see like Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl.
Yo, yeah.
Dancing with them.
Right,
You feel me? Like,
exactly.
so it's crazy how they have came from being street niggas, but it's all about growth. Nobody want to be like just at this level for your whole life, and also like everybody got to grow and elevate. So I'm really proud of them with that.
That's what bothered me about that whole little Bone Thugs thing that they had with them, because they was basically saying like, y'all ain't gonna be around. I'm like, yo, dog, they definitely gonna be around. You know what I mean? Like, remember that?
No, I do remember that.
Yeah, is it?
I was just remembering just now. I think Busy Bone like pull up my DMs like, I heard you got something to say to me. I'm like, bro,
Don't
that's
play
like,
with Busy Bone.
that's like 20 weeks ago, bro. Like we're off of it now.
We off it.
That would be me. I have the delay. All right, guys, that's it. That is our show for today. Thank you for watching. Like I said, it's our last week of the year, and then we're back in January. We'll see you guys here tomorrow on Complex. And sorry related to Akademiks' fault.
I want to shout out to that dude from GameStop. Showed me super love.